So the next time that something comes up that's challenging and you have to use the philosophy again that we can do hard things, like they'll remember that. Like there's proof now that we can.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jackie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continuous support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Okay, welcome back, guys. We're super excited to continue on this topic on some of the different standards in our life, not only for sports, which is kind of the topic for the last couple episodes, but it's starting to become kind of like some of the standards that we just have in life and philosophy.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I thought I'd talk about that we haven't talked about yet with all the sports stuff, you know, with the new, with the girls in the new golf program, Drews, Chrissy in cross country, Drews will get in basketball soon. The girls will do tennis next year. You know, we mentioned this briefly, but one of the things are how we put sports into our family in alignment with the priority of the mission of our family, right? And that means that as a family as a whole, we include our kids on all of our family's goals. You know, we have a lot of big goals for the future. A lot of them have to do with advancing God's kingdom. And we know that that is our priority. Sports are a great outlet. Sports are a great tool, great lesson, but they don't completely consume our lives. And I'm not trying to challenge anybody who maybe wants to be way more involved in sports, because I think it's great. You know,
I do too.
But just for us, that is our philosophy, which is really, really important. Another thing that we have started that you know we also teach our kids, and this is again something that is important to us, is we are always trying to build a skill set into our children that is way more than just, hey, here's how to get good at a sport. So if you think about it, you know, this one thing we found out from sports is that, wow, how all of a sudden they have all these fundraisers, you know, that are expected.
Whoa.
Right?
More fundraisers than I'm shocked right now.
I mean, like, this is a business. I didn't know. Okay.
You want to start a new business in fundraising?
I'll tell you what. But anyway, so we're noticing that, you know, these kids, they come home and they're like, hey, by the way, and of course we just signed them up and we just paid for blank. And then we also pay, I don't know how much money for property taxes at 2 different homes that we own right now that we don't even send kids to public schools. You know, every year. So anyways, the point is, so they come home and they're like, hey, so Dad, there's these you have to do a $75 raffle ticket, and I got to sell 3 of these, you know, but I have to do it. Is it more than once? I think they have to do it more than once. Or is it just per sport?
No, per sport. I mean, per season of sport.
Per
you
kid, per sport. Yeah. So Bella has to do 3 of these $75 raffle tickets. Abby does. Now Drews does. Now Chrissy does. And that's just for those sports, right? So, I mean, you can do the math. It starts adding up. Well, then you also add in things like, okay, if the kids, we have the kids that have like clubs and stuff, but they've been youth clubs, and you know they see all their friends that have nicer clubs.
Oh, you mean golf clubs?
Golf clubs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they came home today and said what? They said, yeah, we want to be able to get more clubs, new clubs.
They want to work hard this next season.
But one of the things that we have chosen to do is we choose to give our kids a level of responsibility to actually be able to earn the right to play these sports and to give them some ownership. Because, you know, like it would be really easy for us just to pay for the raffle tickets, right? But the lesson that they have to learn by coming up with their compelling story of why they want to sell these raffle tickets, that they got to go communicate to a stranger, basically a stranger, like a neighbor or somebody in the neighborhood or whoever else, and then having to go walk there, look them in the eyes, learn what people's skills are, do it with a quivering voice at first, but do it over and over, being able to handle rejection when people tell them no, because that will happen, and having to follow through and figure it out. I mean, those lessons are so priceless. Like I didn't really start learning how to do any kind of sales at all until I was 27 years old. You know, before that, I literally spent my life trying to avoid sales because I was trained that if you get rejected, then somebody's rejected you, just not your product. And so I was really nervous about it. But let's just get honest. You're not going to ever be successful in anything if you don't learn how to be able to do some level of sales, right? And so we have our kids now actually going out and selling their own raffle tickets. Like that's going to be a requirement for them. Abby and Bella, they want new clubs. They have decent clubs, but they want new clubs. And so you know what they did? They're already starting to map out how they can make the money to buy their own clubs. They didn't even ask us, did they?
No, they were really sweet. But if anybody does want a raffle ticket, my private, I can send it out to you. Contact me. We need to sell quite a few of these if you want to throw a bone and help me out.
That's not a bad idea. You know what we could do is we could.
I just want to get the plug in there. I want to sell ourselves. You know what I mean? That like, if anybody wants to help us out here for help impacting you in any ways, buy a raffle ticket.
Yeah, and then we could just charge a surcharge to our kids at like $25. We can make a little bit of money off it ourselves.
Oh. So you just lost people. You just lost.
Hey, we're all business people here. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think it's great. You know, I mean, being, you know, our children who they are, of course, they got in the car and they were really excited and, you know, not in a way of like I need new clubs to perform well. It was more of I would like to purchase some new clubs because I'm passionate about this sport. I want to do well. I already asked some other athletes, where do you get these kind of clubs from? And I think that was so powerful. They're already starting to think, okay, what are some things I can do in the next however many months to make this happen? Because I really want to do it at a high level.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really great. You know, I mean, when you come from, you know, a family where it's like you have parents that definitely want you to succeed, which I think we all do. We all want our kids to succeed in every aspect of life. Majority of us probably could even afford, you know, to get them things like clubs and, you know, sporting equipment and stuff like that. And that's fine. It's not that we couldn't. It's more of the responsibility that they want to take on because they care about something so passionate. And I feel like sometimes when we allow them to do that, they appreciate the sport more. They appreciate the practices more. They appreciate what mom and dad are doing to make it happen for them. They appreciate their coaches more. And honestly, they honor themselves more.
They do.
With this whole new adventure of
It's
playing
a tremendous
sports.
self-image increaser. And it gives us such a chance to teach our kids at their young age right now all these valuable life lessons that they're going to need to know, this skill sets that they're going to need to be successful later on. You know, I think a lot of times we have a good balance, I feel. We let our kids be kids, no doubt about it. You know, at the same time, we know it's our job to equip them for the future. And so we have a balance of that going on. And it's very, very powerful. I love teaching the kids how to do sales. I love watching them go stretch themselves and challenge themselves. I love watching them have to sit there and practice memorization of what they're going to say and how they're going to answer questions, you know, and having to challenge and stretch themselves that way. I love watching them have to learn how to interpret rejection properly, you know, and not let it get to them and get a thicker skin so they can move on to the next person and learn how to shake it off. And I mean, there's just so much to it. So it's really huge. So I'm glad that we're doing that.
Yeah, and I think they will too. And honestly, again, it comes down just to people skills. I mean, teaching our kids how to have people skills. We all know sometimes the person that gets the job or the opportunity isn't the one most qualified. It's the one with the most skills, you know, bringing it to the table, whether it's communication skills or whether it's, you know, different opportunities on how to sell something or, you know, the dynamics that you bring along the way. They're usually the ones that get the opportunities. It's not the one that has the perfect answer to everything.
For sure. Yeah. You know, another life philosophy we have is we use a statement all the time. The kids would know it if I just started the statement, but it's face your fears. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many times have, you know, throughout the years, one of our kids wants to jump off of the water trampoline into the water. And they're kind of young, but they're nervous, right? So then what happens when you're nervous a lot of times? I don't really feel like it right now, or I'm just going to go lay down over here. And all the other kids are jumping and they're saying, hey, come on, so-and-so, come on. So, no, I'm good. Whenever we hear, no, I'm good. We know that's cue for us to say, okay, I get it. There's a fear going on here, right? So, and it's not something dangerous or anything. It's just something there. And we are so big on teaching our kids, like, no, this is just a basic fear. You know, fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. And so we'll push them. And next thing you know, they're jumping off the water trampoline, terrified the first time, almost crying the first time. If you watched us, you'd probably think we're bad parents because we're pushing them through it. And then they come out and what do? That was amazing. And they come up and they want to do it again. Next thing you know, they're backflipping off it and they're doing all this stuff. I don't want our kids, you and I both, we don't want our kids to get stuck in fear. I remember Abby as a 3 or 4 year old when we were at a water park when we lived in Illinois. Do you remember this? And we went there and there was like this teeny little like ladder she had to walk up to go down a slide. But at the top of the slide, there was like these, like these water fountains that were shooting both ways across it. And the intention was you get to the top of the slide, you're going to kind of get sprayed from each side. So get down the slide quick. And it also made the slide wet. So you come down it. And she was just like, I'm not going to do it. At first she wanted it. Then when she started trying to do it, she got super scared. And I'm just like, no, you got to do this, baby. You got to do this. And I pushed her. And she got to the top of that slide. I don't know if you remember this or not. She's standing at the top of the slide, standing there, and the water's shooting from both sides, and she freezes. She's up there. She's so scared.
Aww.
She freezes. She's literally like getting a drinking fountain pouring in both of her ears, splashing her face. She's standing at the top, crying. And she's almost drowning, standing there. And I'm like, do it. You got it. Do it. You got it. And I walked up and I had her do it. And she comes down, and then she was like sitting there like, oh. That was pretty fun.
Oh,
and I'm like, hey, let's do it one more time. She's still a little hesitant. I'm like, come here, I'll come with you. She goes up, boom, nails it this time. Third time, Dad, I want to do it all by myself. Mm-hmm. Okay. She does it. After that, she's been one of our most brave kids.
Sure.
But it's like all these little situations that you have that you can take that extra moment to help them get through something that they need to, because again, it's a life philosophy. Why are you afraid of it? Is it really something to be afraid of? Because sometimes it is. Sometimes it's a real thing, and you got to be aware of that. I mean, God made us that way, designed us to be able to, notice something we should be afraid of. The thing is, you got to be careful. You're not just allowing yourself to be too fearful of simple things, right?
Yeah, when you say being fearful, it brings me a crazy story.
Okay.
About, what was it? 6 months ago, maybe longer, one of the philosophies I teach kids all the time is we can do hard things. Mm-hmm. Like we can do hard things.
Yeah.
And there's opportunities to show it all the time, whether it's pushing through different challenges, just like you said, or, really stretching yourself to try out for that, that team, or maybe go for no with the opportunity to, apply for something, or, we can do hard things in everything we do because, we are Francises and we can do hard things. Mm-hmm. And I just remember it was like, I think February or March this year, I can't, 6 months ago-ish. I was in Florida with the kids, and you had left for the weekend to go to a men's event for our church, Emerge, in California. So I was at home with the kids, and it was like 3 or 4 nights, we were there alone. And we're in sunny Florida. I mean, it's not exactly anything to complain about. Like, it's
right.
It's like March. It's beautiful out. And, as usual, the kids and I are enjoying living life, going to the pool, grabbing ice cream, getting, Uber Eats sent our way, whatever it may be. And we're having a lot of fun doing our thing until I told the kids, hey, let's clean up outside, clean up the garage. And then after that, why don't we all go to the pool and maybe, grab some ice cream afterwards. Our friends are going to the pool. We can do this. And let's do cleanup. I'm like doing the thing that all moms do. Like, if you do this, reward at the end. And Bella comes in, and it was down the hall in our house. And our house kind of was, echoing a little bit. And she comes in, and all of a sudden I hear her say to her sister, I just saw a snake. I'm like nowhere close. And I scream down, I hope you're kidding right now. And I come pushing my way down the steps. And she's like, yeah, I did. I'm like, I really hope you're kidding right now. You did not see a snake. And she's like, yeah, Mom. I heard it coil up and go, shh.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And I walk outside, and sure enough, this long, 3-foot gardener snake is black, is coiled up underneath the kids' bikes. And I'm like rubbing my face like I always do when I don't know what to do for a minute. And literally the kids are like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, I don't know, but we can do hard things. And they're like, we can. And I'm like, yes, we can. And we're rallying around this. And I'm like, okay, let's all have certain points. You grab this broom. Let's grab our tools so we can get rid of this thing. We have all these brooms in our hands. We're ready to fight this black gardener snake, right? Because we're going to get it out of the garage as a team. And all of a sudden, some kids are even more nervous than others. I'm not a reptile friend. I'm naturally, they make me nervous. And so naturally I'm like people are like, I'm kind of nervous, Mom. I'm like, me too. I'm scared too, but we can do this as a team. And I'm thinking this whole time, I'm about to call your dad and tell him, men weekend is over. I need help. We have a snake in here. Stop praying and get home.
That's why I leave my phone off.
Yeah, for me, for your wife. Special.
Hey, I'm there to grow me, honey, for you.
Yeah, I need you to grow at home when there's a snake in the garage.
Okay, sure.
Sure enough, we all have our tools. We're ready to go at it. I don't even know. Sure enough, we worked as a team. We somehow got this nasty thing out of the garage, screaming, hollering, pushing it out and shutting the garages. And we all get in the house. And I'm like, I'm so proud of us. And we're all like, we can do hard things. And it was like the kids were just so proud of themselves that we worked as a team. So then like any brave person, we ran to the screen and porch to see if it had gotten away from our house. Now the screen and porch could protect us. But it comes down to the philosophy, right? We don't always get to do what we want to do. Sometimes we have to do the things that we don't like to do.
Yeah.
And the snake isn't exactly going to stay in our garage. We got to get it out. So let's work as a team and make it happen.
Yeah, and it comes from, you build that muscle.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it comes from the kids will always remember that you guys accomplished that now.
Right.
So the next time that something comes up that's challenging and you have to use the philosophy again that we can do hard things, they'll remember that. There's proof now that we can. And then the next time you do something again, there's proof. Like our whole move to Boise.
Right.
And all the journey that we've talked about with that. I mean, that was not an easy thing, but we did it, and now we know we can do it.
Right.
And we could go down the list of a bunch of stuff, but
and I bet everybody could. If you really thought.
You okay, just sucking them off.
What?
I thought I was going to do the Heimlich on you.
And thank you. That's a wrap today. I'm not really sure.
Okay. Want to take a drink of water?
I think I'm good now.
Okay. Well, you sure are cute, though. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. And we have great news. You get more of us. You can expect new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. So be sure to consistently tune in with us and enjoy our show. See you next time.